Okay, hello mga students. Let us proceed with our discussion, continuation of the discussion on investment in equity securities. For now, we will be talking about those transactions that happen after initial recognition. And for purposes of our discussion, we will be discussing about share splits and then later on yung ating iba't ibang klase ng mga dividends and then the share rights. Okay? I will also be incorporating in this discussion some excerpts from the book of Balik, which is, I don't know, an integration kasi nga ang pinaka main reference ko po dito ay yung libro ni Pleo and Robles. But for the discussion on the share rights, we will be inserting some discussions coming from the book of Balik, so that there is a comparison. Okay, now, ito po class, hindi na po ito bago. If you are taking this topic, if you are taking the subject on intermediate accounting, the assumption is that you are already done with the corporation accounting under the subject accounting for partnership and corporation. And therefore, for example, etong discussion ng share split ay na-explain na, but from the point of view, from the perspective of the issuing company, yung gumawa, no, yung nagbigay ng shares of stocks. Hindi pala bigay yung nag-issue kasi syempre may bayad naman ito. Okay, pero sa ngayon, we will be please take note, our focus will be on the books of the investor. How do we account for the share split? So, yung pagdating dito class na sa share split, mabilis lang naman ito, madali lang naman ito. Kasi in the books of the investee or yung issuing company, wala po tayong journal entry. Ang meron po tayo dun ay memorandum entry. Ganon din po ito class, no, sa ating investor's book. The accounting for share split requires a memo entry only, memorandum entry only. Para lamang po ma-identify, ma-indicate natin, ma-notify na meron po tayong changes in the number of shares. Kasi 'di ba, pag meron tayong share split, whether up or down, 241, 142, or kung ano man po kung in what manner ang ating split, okay? Dadagdagan or nababawasan yung number of shares, no? Pero technically, halimbawa doon sa point of view ni investee or ng issuing company, hindi naman nabago yung equity mo. So let's have an illustration here, but from the point of view of the investor. So si NSR company daw holds a 2,000 of 100 par ordinary shares of PME company. Please take note, yung original investment niya in equity securities, no, measured at fair value, is 2,000 of 100 par. Pero yung carrying value ay 252,500. The carrying value, of course, no, ay based po doon sa fair value at the initial recognition. So, hindi po natin consider yung 100 peso par value. Magkano yung market value, no? Magkano po yan nabili? Yun po yung ating carrying value. Ito pong 100 peso par value, relevant po ito in the books of the investee or yung ating issuing company. Kasi yung kanyang ordinary share capital should be recorded at the par value. And any difference in the par value versus the issue price ay kino-consider natin as share premium. Diba? Pero dito, syempre pag bumili ka, diba, debit lang naman ito investment in equity securities measured at fair value. Okay? For this amount and credit to cash. Now, anong sinabi? Si PME company daw effected a 2-for-1 share split and issued additional shares to its shareholders. Paano nga ulit natin ito binabasa ng mga 2-for-1, 1-for-2? Dalawa, no, kapalit ng isang shares. So, dadagdagan ang shares of stocks mo in terms of the number of shares, no? Pero yung market value ay liliit. Okay, per share ha, yung per share price niya. 2-for-1. Kung meron kang 2,000, 2-for-1, ang isa, palitan natin ng dalawa, edi times 2, magiging 4,000 yan. Pero, wala tayong journal entry, memorandum entry only. Kaya nga dito ito yung ating example na memo. PME effected a 2:1 share split on its ordinary shares. As a result, the entity now holds a total of 4,000 ordinary shares of PME company. Okay? So, yan lang po ang ating memorandum entry. Additional question lamang pala, sakali man tinanong tayo, magkano na ngayon ang value ng kada isang shares? So, kung 252,500 ang carrying value niyan ngayon, yung market value niyan ngayon, i-divide na natin ito sa 4,000. Magiging 63.125. Na dati ay, magkano yun? 126.25. Okay? Kasi dati 252,500 divided by 2,000 ka lang. 126.25 yan dati. Pero ngayon dahil nadagdagan, naging 4,000 yung shares mo, yung 126.25, hinati din natin sa dalawa. Okay? So, ganyan lang po ang maaring mangyari after initial recognition and prior to any disposal of your equity instrument measured at fair value. Next tayo. Dividends. Alam naman po natin na marami po tayong klase ng dividendo. Pero ang pinaka-common na pinag-aaralan po natin ay cash dividends, no? So yun na unahin natin. Pag cash dividends, it is generally recognized as income when received or receivable. Receive pag natanggap mo na, receivable pag hindi pa, no? Meron tayong timing difference. And normally naman kasi class, di ba? Meron kasi tayong tatlong diyan, di ba? So, sige, mamaya. Meron kasi tayo, di ba, tatlong klase ng dates na kailangan nating i-consider. And normally, the date of declaration is not the same with the date of payment. Meron pa nga tayong date of record, no? Kaya, chances are, the recognition of the dividend income or the dividend revenue is when, okay, the dividend is receivable. Kasi yan yung mas realistic. Okay, pero pwede rin naman on the date of declaration, diretso na bigayan na agad ng dividendo when it is received. Okay, illustration tayo ha. TV5 company owns 1,000 shares of TVJ company. Okay, acquired at 120 peso per share. Afterwards, TVJ company declared a 5 peso cash dividend per ordinary share to be paid the following accounting period. Okay, following accounting period. So, ibig sabihin, meron pa tayong receivable. Pero, kailangan na nating i-recognize yung income. Okay? Plus, sinide by side ko lang for appreciation. Pero yung focus po natin ay itong libro na ito, In the Books of the Investor. Pero, alam naman po ninyo, or I hope so, sana naalala nyo pa, no, on the date of declaration, nag-debit ng retained earnings si issuer and credit dividends payable kasi cash dividend po ito eh. O sa atin naman, in the books of the investor, meron siyang receivable at meron akong income, dividend revenue. 5,000. Saan galing yon? 5 peso dividend per share. 5 peso times 1,000, that is your 5,000. That is on the date of declaration. The following accounting period, nung binayaran na po yung dividendo, syempre, makakatanggap ka ng cash, di-debit na cash, di-credit, i-recognize na natin yung dividend receivable. O, doon sa issuer investee, no, dividend payable ka, credit to cash kasi nagbayad ka na. Okay? O, therefore, we have to remind you of those three dates. For purposes of concepts or theories, pag sinabi nating date of declaration, this is the time, this is the date when the board of directors of the corporation declares the distribution of dividends. Okay? Whereas, the date of payment, tumalun muna ako sa number 3, ay yung date kung kailan natin i-distribute yung dividendo sa mga shareholders. Yun nga lang, normally dito sa mga dividend declaration, meron tayong cut-off period na pag umabot ka dito sa period na ito, you will be entitled to dividend. So that is your cut-off date, no? Yung date of record. When the corporation draws a list naming the shareholders entitled to dividend. Kasi halimbawa, ngayon ay July. Nag-declare ako ng dividend. Tapos, babayaran ko yan by the end of the year. Halimbawa, December 31. Pero sinabi natin na, o sige, I am a publicly listed company, publicly listed entity. Okay? At yung mga entitled to dividends ay yung mga shareholders as of the end of August. Di July, August, no? So, kung sakali man na may mga investors na bumili ng shares of stock from July and August, no? Kasama pa po sila sa makakatanggap ng dividendo na i-distribute by the end of the year. So, therefore, class, no? Meron po tayong kino-consider dito in terms of the shares, yung price, no? Kapag merong bentahan ng mga shares. So, tatlo, di ba? Date of declaration, date of record, date of payment. So, kung sakali man, dito in example ko, nag-declare ako ng dividend, July. Okay? Ang date of payment ko, kunwari, ay katapusan. So, December 31. Tapos, ang cut-off ko, August, katapusan ng Agosto. So, August 30. Okay. Meron ako ditong 2 months. July, August, September, October, November, December. 4 months. Okay. So, kung sakali man may mga investors na bumili ng shares kasi publicly listed entity, bumili ng shares in between July and August, no? Ang market price ng shares na nabili po nila ay may kasamang dividend. So, the share sells dividends po. Okay? Yung price na halimbawa, nabili mo yan at 150 pesos. May portion dun sa 150 peso representing the dividends. Okay? Samantalang, after the date of record, after the cut-off date, ex-dividend na po yan. So, hindi na po kasama dyan yung dividend amount. The amount purely represents the market price of the shares alone. Okay? Bakit? Kailangan lang po natin ito ma-appreciate, no? Kasi sa mga problems, no, merong dividends on, merong ex-dividend. For example, this one. Binodify natin si TV5 at si TVJ, no? Nilagyan natin ng petsa. So, on June 30, 2023, TVJ company declared the 5 peso cash dividend. Payable, babayaran August 15, 2023 to shareholders of record as of July 15, 2023. So, your date of declaration is June 30, the date of record ay July 15, the date of payment is August 15. So, in the books of TV5 being the issuing company, or TV5 being the investor, kindly correct me there, no, ang journal entry niya on July 5 will be like this. On the date of, on this date, on the date of record, debit cash, teka, on July 5, sandali ha. Sandali, balikan natin yung petsa ha. Tingnan natin kung tama yung petsa. Ang journal entry natin is a debit to cash for 135. Okay, dividend selling price, no? Dividend on. And then, the dividend, since it's valued at 5 peso per share, tanggalin natin siya doon sa 135 peso. So, the selling price of the share without the dividend is 130 pesos. Now, the carrying value of each share is 120 peso. Okay? So, meron tayo dito, ayan ha, 10 peso per share na gain on sale. Okay? So, ano ang journal entry natin dito? Nag-debit tayo. Okay. Tama naman pala yung date, no? Napaisip ako saan galing yung July 5? Hindi ko pa pala nabasa ito, Na naghang ako dito nung nabasa ko yung July 5. Sorry for that interruption. Okay. On this date kasi, binenta ni TV5 yung kanyang shares no to GTV. Okay? For 135 peso. So ano ang journal entry natin dyan? Okay? Plus, yung cash natin is at 135,000. The 135 peso per share multiplied by the 1,000 shares that TV5 owns, no? Okay? 135 times 1,000, 135,000. Yung dividend revenue mo ay yung 5,000. Kasi 'di ba, on the date of declaration, memorandum entry ka lamang doon. 'Di ba? Pero you will be entitled soon on August 15. Yun nga lang binenta mo. Pag binenta mo, i-recognize mo na yung dividend revenue mo. Sa'yo yan eh. Kukunin mo na lang at ipapasa mo na lang yan kay GTV. So, technically, si GTV, kukolektahin nyo na lang yan, pero kasama yung dividend. Okay? So, i-recognize na ni TV5 on the date of sale yung dividend revenue. The investment in equity security ay previously at 120 peso per share. So, yan po yung market value na i-recognize natin. Okay? Any difference between the selling price and the carrying value of the share, no, selling price without the dividend, itong 130 versus 120, yan po ay kinikredit natin or debit kung applicable yung loss, no, to gain or loss, no, on sale of investment in equity security. For this illustration, meron tayong gain na 10,000, which is basically the 10 peso per share multiplied by the 1,000 shares. Can you follow? So, ayan po class. That is our journal entry here. I hope nasusundan po. O next, sa libro naman po ni GTV na nakatanggap po nung nung binili niyang shares coming from TV5, magde-debit siya ngayon ng investment in equity securities. Pero yung ex-dividend. Kasi yung 5,000 dyan represents a dividend receivable. Kasi on August 15, pag nag-distribute na ng share si TVJ, hindi na si TV5 yung makakatanggap. Kung hindi, si GTV na. Nakukuha ba? And they credit to 135,000 pesos. Okay? So, dito, sandali. Sorry meron akong error sa typing. Typo error. On August 15, this should be a debit to cash and a credit to dividend receivable only at 5,000. Pasensya na ha. I will correct this one. Edit ko lamang po ito. Pero for our discussion here, this is not 135 but only 5,000 pesos. Okay? So, yan po yung ating illustration, dividends on. So, yan po yung relevance ng ating understanding ng dividends on, dividends, ex-dividend. Another one, yung liquidating dividends. Pag sinabi natin, class, na liquidating dividends, no? This is treated as a return of the investor's investment cost. Liquidating dividend kasi yung dividend na yun represents a return of capital, return of investment. So, hindi natin siya kinoconsider as an investment income or dividend revenue. Kung hindi, credit to the investment account. Alright? So, for example here, TV5 company owns the same. Ito pa rin po yun. May minodify lang natin, On December 31, TVJ company paid. On December 31, nagbayad po si TVJ 12 peso dividend per ordinary share. And this 12 peso represents 10 peso coming from the current year earnings and 2 peso from the retained earnings of TVJ company. Okay, now, in this case, class, yung 2 pesos will be a return of capital. Okay? So, dito, magde-debit tayo ng cash Magkano yun? 12,000, 12 peso times 1,000, magki-credit tayo ng dividend receivable, okay? O, and magki-credit tayo ng 2,000. Teka, sandali, ano? Parang meron na naman ako ditong, ano na naman, error. Ano ba naman yan? Ang dami na naman nating, typographical error. Hindi po yan receivable. O, yan yung napapala kapag kopya tayo ng kopya, ano? So, hindi na exempt si sir pag nagka-copy paste ng mga account titles sa aking mga materials. This should be dividend revenue, ha. Kindly take note, hindi po yan dividend receivable. This is a dividend revenue. Wala naman tayong receivable dyan. Okay? For 10,000 and a credit to investment in equity securities. Okay. Why? Bakit ganito yung journal entry? Basahin ko lamang, no, from the book directly. Hindi ko na po siya sinama dito. Pero please take note. Sana ang sinasabi kasi dito sa portion on the liquidating dividends. In some instances, an investor may receive a portion of the dividends from the investee's earnings before it acquired the shares. These dividends are treated as a return of the investor's investment cost. The original seller logically considers the investee's earnings before the acquisition date in setting the share selling price. Now, there are also, please take note, there are also instances when the dividends come from the balance of the contributed capital of the issuing corporation. And this is what we call the liquidating dividend. Okay? An investor records the receipt of such not as income but as a credit to the investment account. Dito sa ating problem, the 2 peso coming from the retained earnings, okay, and not from the current year operation represents a liquidating dividend. So parang ang sinasabi dito sa 12 peso dividend ay yung 10 peso coming from the current year's operation, yun lang talaga yung dividend. Pero yung 2 peso, it's a return of capital. No? It came from the retained earnings account. Okay? So, yan po class, please take note of this journal entry and then the corrections. So, dalawa na yung aking correction na may kailangan kong i-edit. After the receipt of the dividends, the carrying value daw of the investment is reduced to 123 from the point of view of the investor, no? Dati 125 siya. Although itong 125 ay coming from the original problem in the book. Okay, minus 2. Ayan, Asa na 'yon? Hindi ko na isulat dito, class. Pero kindly check, ha. Original kasi natin dito is that nabili po na-acquire itong 100 ordinary shares previously at 125. Okay? I omitted it, no? O sige, i-edit ko na rin ito. Pabihira naman. Dami kong napapansin, So 125 ito nabili minus 2 peso na liquidating dividend. Kaya natin sinasabi dito na 123 pesos na lang per share. Alright, so yan po Next, proceed tayo sa susunod. Bonus issue for share dividends. Ito yung stock dividends, di ba? Or share dividend. O ano ang impact nito sa investor's book? Definitely, it will increase the number of shares held by an investor. Kasi halimbawa, you own 1,000 shares, tapos nagkaroon ng 10% share dividend. O kung may 1,000 shares ka, multiplied by 10%, may 100 shares ka na matatanggap additionally. Pero paano yung accounting treatment nito in the books of the investor? O, ganito naman siya, class, ha. Meron tayo ditong dalawang klase ng bonus issue. If the bonus issue ay coming from the same class, memorandum entry method lang tayo dito, no? Wala tayong i-journalize. Sapat na po ang memo entry sa libro ni investor, no? Para i-indicate yung change in the number of shares. So, ito yung ating illustration, ano? Reo Company owned 1,000 ordinary shares of iCare Company with a carrying value of 120 peso per share. Subsequently, Reo Company received a 20% bonus issue from iCare Company. And by the way, no, hindi ko na po dito pinipresent yung journal entry from the books of the investee or yung issuing company. Pero doon, meron tayong consideration. Ano ba to? Large or big or small bonus issue ba ito? Kasi ang recognition natin dito sa pagde-debit sa retained earnings ay based pa sa fair value. Okay? Hindi po natin yung pag-uusapan dito. Ano? That is a topic of another accounting subject. Dito at the point of view of the investor tayo. Ha? So, sa investor side, memorandum entry lang tayo. For example, dito, received 200 ordinary share of iCare Company representing a 20% bonus issue on 1,000 shares previously held. After the receipt of bonus issue, hindi na po ito kasama sa memo entry. Ha? After the receipt of bonus issue, the carrying value of its shares that Reo holds will be 100 peso. Bakit? 120,000, ito na, ang carrying value niya, 120 times 1,000 shares. Ngayon, ang shares, number of shares mo na ay 1,000 and 20%, which is 200. Ito, so 1,200 na. Therefore, 120,000 divided by 1,200, 100 na. No, yung carrying value of each share. Okay? So, ayan please take note. Susunod, special bonus issue. And the treatment of special bonus issue is the same as with property dividends. Kaya nga, in the book, no, may example sa property dividends pero hindi ko na po isinama dito because the treatment is the same. Now, ano yung special bonus issue? Pag special bonus issue, meron tayong share dividend pero coming from another form. So halimbawa, ordinary share ang hinahawakan mo, then suddenly nag-issue in the form of preference share. So, special bonus issue yon kasi magkaiba sila in the form of another class of capital share. So, paano yung treatment natin doon? Yung shares na matatanggap natin ay nire-recognize natin at fair value, no? And i-credit syempre to dividend income. For example, Reo Company owned 1,000 ordinary shares of iCare Company with a carrying value of 120 pesos and designated it at fair value through profit or loss. A year after, nag-distribute si iCare 1 share of its 100 peso par value preference share for every 10 of its ordinary share as dividend. So, kung may hinahawakan si Reo na 1,000, 1:10, so 100,000 divided by 10. Di, meron siyang 100 preference shares na matatanggap. Okay? So, on the date of distribution, each ordinary share sells ex-dividend. Ex-dividend ito at 144. Ibig sabihin, itong 144 represents only the share, the share price na walang kasamang dividend. Pag dividends on, may kasama pa po itong dividend. Okay? While each preference share sells at 160. So, ano yung journal entry natin? Debit, investment in equity securities measured at fair value through profit or loss for 16,000 and a credit to dividend revenue. So, dito meron tayong additional investment in this case in the form of a preference share. Paano natin na-compute yung 16,000? Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, no, 1,000 ordinary share. Divide natin sa 10. So, meron kang 100 na preference shares na matatanggap multiplied by the market price, market value ng preference share, 160. So, meron kang 16,000 pesos. Okay? Sige. So, I think class, no, I will pause muna. I-end ko muna itong discussion, itong video lecture ko dito. Kasi, itong share rights, no, sabi ko nga kasi meron tayong inclusion ng some discussions from the book of Walings. So, ilimit ko muna itong discussion dito. This is part 1. So, yung discussion ng share rights and other minor topics will be part 2. Okay? So, there you go. Pause ko muna or end ko muna itong recording and then we will proceed immediately after this one. Alright? Thank you and bye-bye.